Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of The Lookout. Actually, it's your second in this week if you're paying attention and if you're following it. So
we're moving right now.
Hopefully you enjoyed us yesterday. Hopefully you enjoyed us yesterday as much as you do today, because we have got a banger of a set of. I mean, this is truly the crux of My Hero Academia, like at its finest. This is what kind of we've been building for. This is what everything, all the pieces have been laid from season 1 through season 2 and now into season 3. This is kind of what we've been building for. This is honestly the biggest section of My Hero Academia in the series thus far. But of course, if you're a new listener, I am Meelz. I'm here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're continuing this with this MHA week, My Hero Academia week.
We are extremely excited.
Academia week, BNA. If that's your steez, if this is what you're following, God, I mean, I don't even see. There's not much to talk about other than outside of this. So I feel like we should just get straight to it because there's so much to talk about.
Bro, you know, it's so crazy. This is all gonna come back and smack us in the face because like the beginning of the year is gonna pop off and like there's gonna be so many things going on that we're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna be scrambling, you know,
bro.
New series, new manga.
Yeah, there's new everything at the beginning of 2021. I'm kind of just watching the rest of this year and just like, all right, 2021. I believe Attack on Titans. It hasn't fully been announced yet as we're recording this. I'm not gonna give you the date of when we're recording this, but just know, as of the time we're recording this, an official date for Attack on Titan season 4 final season has not been dropped yet, so I'm assuming it's coming in 2021. Just based off of how the rest of anime has kind of gone
we'll see
over the last number of years. But yeah, once again, we'll see. But I think we should start this episode because there's so much going on in this episode. We kind of left on a cliffhanger last episode. Last time on The Lookout, you know, cue the music. Last time on The Lookout, we talked about definitely the summer camp, everything that went wrong, the Vanguard Action Squad of the League of Villains showing up. They had one job to do.
One job. Almost did 2 jobs. Almost got really away with it, but you know.
Yeah, but you know, they managed to do what they came to do ultimately, despite all the hiccups. Despite students being a lot more crafty and powerful than they previously imagined, some of their cohorts managed to get bodied in the process. But that's just, you're gonna have some casualties in this war.
Absolutely.
But, they managed to kidnap Bakugo. We talked about this yesterday. It is the worst case scenario of any school. Listen, you go on a field trip and a kid gets kidnapped. Shut it down.
Yeah, it's a wrap. There's not much. You're not coming back from that much. Like it's gonna be a tough.
No, shut it down. Everyone's getting fired. There's a couple people get fired. I mean, main office, teachers, counselors, anything at. Listen,
in the real world,
people outside know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
If you hear some clanging and banging in the background, you know what time it is.
You know what's crazy about you saying that though? Is like,
what's up?
We're still sending kids to school right now.
I mean, hey, I don't know what to say anymore. I don't have
kids, but I have a little brother, so it's weird, man. But yeah, this is like weird. It's like, if we go on a bug juice, trip, and somebody gets turned up and kids get taken, man, the school's getting shut down. Man. There's no coming back from this.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, 100%. All right, so let's get the rundown of kind of what happened. All this, 40 students. 15 were unconscious due to the gas. That's a lot of students, by the way. That's almost half.
That's enough to shut the school down.
Oh yeah, 100%. 11 were injured, fighting, running for their lives. 13 were unharmed physically, but the scars, the emotional and mental scars, they're there.
Yeah.
And one was missing, according to the voice of Deku. Deku's a great narrator in this instance.
He is.
One of the wild pussycats are out of commission, and one is completely missing. That's terrible for a 4-person squad. And 3 villains were caught and arrested. Sorry, Mustard, Muscular, and Moonfish, the 3 M's. Tartarus for you. It's just, and we'll never see you again, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
No, we never see them again. At this point in the manga, we don't see them again ever.
Good, that's good.
Unless they show up in Vigilante, which I have not read yet. Which I know is the fact that My Hero Academia has its own spin-off manga to kind of just delve into stuff that isn't in the main thing. Like they'll give you a backstory of like Aizawa and President Mike as kids, or they'll give you a backstory of just like other things that have happened in the past. Just everything that doesn't include Deku or is kind of really sort of the main characters in the show. But we don't really see them again. So, you know, tough luck. I mean, the squad 100% glows up without you, and that's a sight, and that's a sad sight to live through.
Right.
You know, it just is what it is. But one of the Bakugo is 100% kidnapped, and the aftermath of the attack kind of sends a jolt through society and kind of really turns everything on its head. I mean, the villains have won in more ways than one. The villains have managed to accomplish their task by kidnapping Bakugo, but they've also crippled the trust that society has in UA High School, and in heroes themselves. Where were the heroes?
Where were the heroes?
Where are the heroes is what the newscasters is, what's the parents is what, well, I don't even know if the parents, but maybe I'm sure. But you know, where are the people? There's so many perspectives that are coming from the aftermath of the attack that I just feel like we got to run through them all, because we've listed them as 4 main perspectives.
Yeah.
To just kind of sum up the rest of that episode that we cut in half last time. There's been 4 main perspectives. First, there's the media. Do you feel like the media has been too harsh? Or maybe they're...
Well, I mean, no, not at all. So to me, the media's probably been... The media's doing their job. It's actually it's one of the favorite things that I enjoy about the series is how deep they go with the things that really, really matter, right? Because there's some animes out there where there's total destruction, these type of things, and you never hear from the government. You never hear from the people who have to live through it. You never hear from the parents, right? Like you don't know. And My Hero,
the Earth has blown up several times in Dragon Ball Z, and no one has bothered to look into it and say, how can we end? What do we have to do?
Why are we living in, like, I know they're living in fear, right? I mean, they have to be thinking about it. So in this situation, for them to show always the media pressing the heroes, you know, pressing the school in general, it's perfect. I think that they give you just enough to, you know, at least let it be known that there is outside sources, outside things that are affecting every decision that's being made on that campus. So I think it's dope. They probably could press them harder, to be honest.
I mean, they were pressing them pretty hard between the actual news broadcast, like the C-SPAN thing where they're having discussions like, you know, it's just the school has just been run and it's just run amok and blah blah blah. Or like the press conference you see with Dab King, Mr. Aizawa.
I'm about to say, do you like Eraserhead's like suited up, slick hair back look?
I feel bad for him.
He looks stressed. He looks stressed up there.
He looks stressed, but when doesn't he look stressed? His eyes is crazy, but he looks 100% stressed. But he's handled it like a G. He was one of those. He could have erased that man's quirk real quick, and he was like, you know what?
Yeah, he handled that very well.
Yeah, he handled it very, very well. So we've got another perspective: the villains. Oh, the villains. Oh, my God. Shigaraki. Oh, my God. The Stain idea. Oh, I wish I had it before.
I know,
because
right?
It's working out so well. Who would have known hiring competent villains would be able to grant me some success? And I got the kid. And we're going to turn this kid into a villain.
Yo, you know, like they're all posted up at the bar. You know, Bakugo's tied up. And then, like, Bakugo's just staring at, like, 5, 6, 7 villains, you know. It's great. It's great. Shiggy was feeling it. Like he definitely felt himself for getting that done, man.
He's out here. He's a mean villain cackle. He's having the time of his life. All the other villains, they get to hang out in the suite too. You know, remember when Dabi and Toga showed up last season and it became a stabbing contest real quick? Not this time. You know, there's like 7 people in the joint, and you know they're hanging out, they're chilling. With Bakugo, tied to a chair.
Was this the Toga? Let me stab him.
Maybe.
I think this was the
I
Toga
wouldn't doubt it.
let me stab him line came in. She's so cute.
She's adorable.
She's
And her
behind the
relationship
bar.
with Twice got me it just giggles. Gets me. I don't know. I love their relationship.
I do
Twice
too.
Twice in Toga. So we get another perspective from UA High. The teachers feel complete shame in this incident. They feel like they've let down the students. Rightfully so. They have let down the students.
As they should. It's like they were so confident. Yeah. All Might's not coming. Nobody knows about the location. We have to go through all these different steps to even get here.
Right.
And they still failed.
Yeah, 100%. Now, President Mike brings up a very interesting, I won't say concept, a theory that there is a mole within UA High. And I think that would be an incredibly interesting sort of, deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. As of, I'm assuming if you're a fan of the show that you've seen the rest of the show and you're not really following on our words and you're not really... You're listening to us, obviously, because we're providing all this amazing context.
Right. Great information.
Stuff. But you've seen the show. But they've kind of ascertained at some point that there's no mole yet.
That we know of. I haven't, I'm not as far along.
But it might make the show interesting. I don't know.
No, I thought it would. I'm not as far as long as you are in the manga. So I don't know if that actually does come to surface. But like, even like sitting back thinking about who it could be, to me, them deciding to take Bakugo kind of like it twisted me, because when I'm first watching this series, I thought he would flip. Like to me, like I'm saying,
if this was maybe a late '90s, early 2000s anime,
right.
He probably would have flipped.
He would have flipped.
I'm watching this with no a cool arc.
Right. I'm just watching for the first time. I'm watching this for the first time. When I did that, I'm thinking, oh, he's the perfect one to take, because he's so aggressive and he's so, arrogant and egotistical. Like he has these little things that like, I'm like, oh,
obviously
he would make a great villain, right?
There's a reason why they stole him, is because of his angst and everything that kind of he's shown at the sports festival. It was like, oh my God.
So watching this, I'm thinking, oh, they're about to flip this shit on their head. Bakugo is going to turn. But honestly, the fact that he didn't, which we'll get into, made me even more excited. Like I was like, oh man, he pisses me off. I've told you that before, but he handled this shit so well, and it was awesome.
Well, they didn't. I don't think the League of Villains did that great of a job trying to like sway him to the other side. They kind of were like, "Do you want to join us?" And he's like, "I would never join you." He said something. I think he said like, "Run into traffic."
Yeah, he told him run into traffic. But he called them like amateurs. Like,
yeah, they did their best and sort of like, we're cut from the same cloth, like we both despise. We both have people holding us down and all this other stuff like that. But they don't really go into like, I don't think they did that much research on Bakugo.
They underestimated the fact that he loves All Might. Like they really underestimated his love for All Might.
Now let's go to the other perspective. I mean, there's several things that happen. All Might gets a tip from, I forget the cop's name. I just know him as Cop, but Looker. I don't know.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. I'm gonna call him Looker just because he just reminds me of Looker from the Pokemon games.
That's where you got that from.
Yeah, I mean, he just reminds me. He just. It's not the same person, but they have the same essentially, thing in this series, except Pokemon is way less dangerous than this world. But All Might does get the call in the middle of the thing, and just like, oh, finally, I know what I'm going to say when I finally step up to Shigaraki. I am here, and like all this other extra shit.
Yeah. It's like, we know, bro. Come on, man.
I'd be like, yo, all right, just show up, bro. No one asked for that. The students. Now, the students have a completely perspective of their own. I mean, they've been through pretty, would you say, life-scarring incident? Yeah, I'd say so.
Bro, I'm thinking about this for the rest of my life, bro. Like, yo, I'm not taking no gas. I'm not getting hit with teeth and all these other things, and not like, being sad about it for like at least a year. I'm not gonna forget that. That's the experience. I'm gonna remember that. I saw one of my classmates get kidnapped. Almost two of my classmates get kidnapped. The other one that didn't get kidnapped almost lost his life because of his own quirk.
Damn, Deku's still in the coma? Shit.
Deku's running around with arms broken. It's a lot of, I mean, yeah, traumatic.
Damn, Momo got hit in the head? Shit.
Bro, like, it's some real things went down. These kids are strong, man. Mentally.
They're shook from the incident, and feel a little bit powerless because they're like, we don't know what to do. We're just students. We're people who can't really use our quirks to save people like we would love to do. But they're sparked by Kirishima. Let's talk about Kirishima for a little bit. Kirishima, he has, I would say from this point on in the series, I would say a very soft, so we have our kind of like, if we would list our big three in class 1A, we would say definitely Bakugo, definitely.
Yeah.
And Todoroki.
Yeah.
Big three.
Todoroki
obviously being third place. If there was another rank of students, I would say Kirishima is very close to the top of the second batch of students based on particularly how the rest of the show goes. And not even just the rest of the show. But like everything following afterwards. I think he's managed to develop this persona. He would be a very good protagonist himself, but he's not the protagonist. I think he has the makings of a protagonist.
He really does. Like he has a great look. His commentary, voice, his quirk, all that is top notch.
He has the gumption, but he also has like the flaws of a person. But he also has kind of room to grow, and all this kind of make a great protagonist.
They really snuck it in, bro. Because I didn't think, him being kind of pushed. Like his push is really good in this series, considered who else they could have chosen to do so. Like, I think, like, I have a lot of love for Froppy. I think Froppy ends up getting a nice push, like just from like the anime perspective. I'm not sure.
Get some action.
Yeah, she gets her own episode. They definitely cater a little bit, more to specific students, but still, like, everyone gets their shine. But yeah, he gets a push where you're like, oh no, you're actually really good. Like, you're going to be a great hero.
Right, especially considering, just last season he failed the final exam, so he's in like remedial classes and stuff. But he's not letting that stop him. He shows up in the hospital, is like, yo, are we really just gonna let them have Bakugo? I saw my friend get kidnapped, and there was nothing I could do. It's very intense and very emotional. The music itself in the moment is just very like, damn, like seriousness, like drama. Like all this other stuff like that. He was like, I saw my friend got kidnapped and there was nothing I can do. And you're crazy if you think I'm just going to stand around. And all the other students are like, but unfortunately we're students and we have to let the law handle this. And if we're doing things that, if we're breaking the law to save this man, we are no better than villains. And, there's this whole like debate and discussion between, I think most of the students in the class were pretty much siding of the fact of like, yo, there are a number of risks to do this. We shouldn't do it. Like, let the heroes handle it. And then there are the students who are like, nah, fuck that.
Right.
I saw Bakugo get kidnapped. Bakugo's my man's. We got to save Bakugo. All this other stuff like that. And Deku's just sitting there post-coma. Minetta's got a melon. I don't know what the melon was for, but get a melon. I brought a melon. I was just like, huh? Okay. It's very emotional. But it ends up leading into something. So we talked about this last episode of kind of like who they give chances to in this episode, kind of how they kind of format the students now. A lot of people got a lot of shine in the last half of this thing, and now we're getting a couple new people. So, after all this, grandstanding and talking and figuring it out and coercing Yaoyorozu to make another tracker, we get to the point and Bakugo and Todoroki, Kirishima and Todoroki are like, yo, tomorrow night, meet us outside of the hospital. We're going to do this. It's like, damn, do I really want to do this? And of course, Deku, I think he contemplates it for like maybe like 5 minutes, and then he's like, nah, we gotta do this. This is what being a hero is all about. Like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So we get actually a new team kind of formatted, because at the end of this, despite emotions that are involved, because Tenya Ida, he has a lot of emotions still within him, especially from the Hosu incident, which I wrongly said yesterday instead of the Kamino incident, because the Kamino incident is coming up. But the Hosu incident, he's got a lot of feelings still.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yo,
he wrapped up.
I would not be able to live with myself if I allow you to do these things and got hurt. And you're not respecting the way I feel. Or maybe you don't care how I feel. You know, he's looking out. He's the class rep. He's,
you know, I would have just been like, man, step aside, man. Like, this is.
He punches Deku. He punches a post-coma Deku,
which is like extremely not
dangerous.
Cool. It's like, yeah, this man just came out of a coma and you punch him in the face. Who does that? Like,
yeah.
But
that's who.
You know, I don't care. Like at that point, I'm like, look, man, we ain't in class right now. All right, so you say all this shit if you want, but they took.
You lucky I ain't at all for one right now.
Bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you ever put your hands on me again, man. You know who I am? I'm the chosen one. You know what? I gotta think about it though. He didn't kick him. He punched him. You know what I'm saying? He punched him. Now, if he would have kicked him, we we got a different talk right now.
Nah, it would have been a different type of scrap right there. But we got a little team. So we got of course, despite his grandstanding, Ida is still joining this team. It was like, listen, I'm doing this to protect everybody and making sure you guys don't use their quirks. Yaoyorozu, don't get a lot of Momo in this series, but
hey, Momo's in that second tier too, by the way.
Yeah, she's 100%.
She absolutely is. She's so good.
She's got the plan every time. Like she just does. And she's becoming more confident with it. And it's interesting because a few chapters ago in the manga itself, she gets a really great moment. You know, in whatever kind of is going on that I won't spoil for you, but you know,
thank you.
Yeah. Sign up for my OnlyFans where I spoil mangas.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing now.
A $1.99 OnlyFans.
Here I am mangas. Thinking I'm gonna start OnlyFans and actually show something. You feel me?
We just talk about mangas on our OnlyFans. So we got Ida, Yaoyorozu, Kirishima, Todoroki, Deku. They all embark on the plan, unbeknownst to the heroes, to rescue Bakugo. And they place a tracking thing on the Nomu last episode. They plan on finding where the hideout is, and hopefully Bakugo will be there. So we get a lot of disguises and we get a lot of discoveries. First of all, who has the best disguise?
Oh, come on. Deku.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Fun, man. Not his is the funniest for sure. At least I should say that. I don't want the comedy to ruin who actually has the best one.
I feel like, all right. So if I would have to say of someone who doesn't look like who they actually are, I'm probably going to say Todoroki. In terms of, okay, he doesn't look like Todoroki. He could be anybody.
Right.
Just be a weirdo. You just, in terms of style itself, I like Kirishima's disguise.
But who had the funniest one?
No, it was definitely Deku. It was definitely.
Did he say fool, sucker?
What are y'all looking at? Where are you going?
I rewound that a few times, man. That shit was so funny to me. I just couldn't get over.
Know, we gotta get the voice actor Justin Briner to
please holler at us
on our podcast and then do that line for us.
Please do that line for me. That shit is so.
Oh my god! What are you looking at? So actually, we're going to do a little fast forwarding here because I like to keep things in order, and there's a lot of moving parts in this thing. The students eventually reach a hideout. So they eventually do. Someone has night vision goggles. These are really expensive, bro. How'd you get them? Just relax. You know, do what I had to do. I had to spend you got to spend money for these things, man.
Right.
Shout out to Kirishima.
Yeah, man, he dropped some bread, man. He saw the vision, man. He had the vision. He's like, man, I'm copping these. I don't even know if I need them for this, but I'm copping them.
We might need some night vision, baby. Could I have had yo? I'm sure Yair Rose would be like, I could have made these for you. Like,
no, dead ass, right? Like, but it's crazy that like he definitely just wanted them himself. You know, he was like, man, I'm gonna use these again at some point. Let me just cop. But when somebody notices that they're expensive before they're just looking at them, that's how you know, like, you dropped some real bread.
That's facts.
Don't even know the brand.
Was this Chrome? Was this?
I'm saying.
So the students eventually show up at the hideout and they manage to peek inside and see, boom, entire Nomu fucking factory. Like, it's Nomu City. I wish, Jeff, you were caught up to the manga. I wish.
This, like, you keep talking to me about this big thing with the Nomus, and I can finally, like, is it as big as like realizing in Attack on Titans that, you know, humans are
100%. Yeah,
it is. Okay, 100%.
Cool. It's I won't spoil for you, but it's actually incredibly similar. But the method of how everything kind of goes down, and when you find out a lot of different things,
right?
I need you to catch up so I can talk to you, because I'm just gonna. I guess otherwise, maybe I'll talk to the big guys. I don't know.
Will do.
Let's get into Operation Rescue Bakugo.
Yes, let's do that. Fun stuff here.
Because this is incredibly fun. This is the first time you kind of get to see the whole bunch of heroes come together. Like, it's very Avengers-esque type of deal, where they're calling all heroes from different walks of life. You know, All Might, Endeavor, Best Genius. I'm a fan. He's like, listen, we're about to sew in the fabric of society once again with whatever this. Kamui Woods, you don't get a lot of, but he's apparently a new hot shot. You know, he's a great hero. He's top 10 already, so he's got to be doing something. Edge Shot. He reminds me of like Strider from fucking Marvel vs. Capcom in kind of a way.
Okay.
Or is it Stryker? Maybe. What am I looking at? Strider, Marvel vs. Capcom. Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
Strider.
So I was right. Oh my god. Yes. But yeah, he reminds me of him in a kind of way. So I'm just gonna say that we got Gran Torino, we got Tiger, we got Mountain Lady. I think we're both fans of Mountain Lady.
Absolutely, she's awesome.
We just hang out with Mountain Lady. Is what I like to do. Gang Orca, and a couple more.
Gang Orca. You told me about Gang Orca before I started the series.
Gang Orca is just a badass name, bro.
Yeah, badass design. Yeah, I had someone ask me, like, is that a tie or is it, you know? I was like, I don't know.
It's Orca. It's Gang Orca. It's a vibe. That's what it is.
Right. A vibe.
So the pros plan to storm the hideout to obtain Bakugo. Meanwhile, the League of Villains want Bakugo to join their team. He tells them to go jump in traffic. They have chosen not to kill him because there's nothing they can do with a dead kid. Also, they kind of really do want him to turn and ruin the fabric of society so much more. Press conference is on. We talked about the press conference a little bit. How Principal Nezu is apparently, you know, feigning ignorance as everyone is getting pressed. He was like, "What? Don't you think the public, you know, if Bakugo has shown so much, you know, anger and things in this world, and you know, Professor Aizawa is pretty much like it's all due to his passion and his willing to be the best hero that he can.
Don't worry about it."
So let me worry about my kids. To which Bakugo's like, damn, they know me better than I thought.
Right.
And then it's ambush time. My favorite part. Good time for our notes in the episode.
The ambush.
It's a great did anyone order pizza?
They had a really good plan.
I got pizza here. And, you know, within seconds, like, my favorite part is just seeing fucking, my part is seeing, Spinner, the gecko. Just like his neck just jolts forward because there's a huge bunch of All Might jumps through the wall and everyone's jumping through the wall and Kamui Wood show up and he's wrapping them in wood. And and then fucking they see the warp villain, Kurogiri. They're like, yo, Kurogiri, you gotta get rid of him. And, Edshot shows and like rejiggers his like intestinal and nervous system or something along those lines and like knocks him out.
Yeah, it's like the things that they have to go through to even like get everything going with their quirks is like, what's going on?
Dabi's like, yo, you know what? Trees are bad against fire. To which Gran Torino comes in and hits him with like a CTE kick out of nowhere. And my favorite part, Endeavor, it was just like, yo, why does that rookie Kamui Woods get to storm in all cool and shit? And it's like, God was like, yo, because we need backup outside. And he's like, oh, tish, TCH, I love it.
TCH. That's the test.
Yeah. This kid has shown me up. Smash times 2. Mountain Lady uses a truck as a shoe. Fair.
Love it.
Love it. Use a truck as a shoe to crush the hideout and crush the Nomu. And it's pretty much like, I didn't know this would be this easy, but I'm just going to make this look good while I'm doing it. Fair. And the other squad, I love that other squad. It's Gang Orca, it's Mountain Lady, it's Best Genus, it's
it's a great team.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a kid back from these villains that Bakugo claims are amateurs, I would say this is the best option you go. Plus, All Might's there.
Yeah, 100%. So we get to kind of now see that, the past of Tomura Shigaraki is beginning to unfold. And, as he calls out, it's almost like he calls out for his dad or something along those lines. But he's triggered immediately once, All Might does the hero talk because of Shigaraki's past. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Shigaraki's past. Are you familiar with Shigaraki's past?
I'm familiar with everything that they've told me at this point.
Okay. All right. So,
and how it is a confusing, like the way that it's explained, it did confuse me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it for the most part.
So all they show at this point is that Shigaraki has been abandoned, and someone named All For One shows up as he's done. We talked about this in season 2. Show up, he's like, "Yo, you want real power? Or I like your power. You know what you could use? All For One." So he shows up and he approaches Shigaraki and he pretty much reaches his hand out and it's like, "Yo, I'm gonna change you for the better," and all this other stuff like that. So All For One is really kind of like, the person who's raised Tomura Shigaraki at this point. Right. And there's a lot more history. It opens up so crazy. Like so crazy. Season 5 is going to open up super crazy. I'm just going to say this from this point, but it opens up. Everything that you're confused about, you will no longer be confused. 100%. The Nomus begin to be warped over. Villains are being warped out. All Might with a great line. No! My favorite part, just because I always remember it.
He said it so it started off so deep and it went into like this screech near the end of it.
Christopher Sabat, man.
Oh, he went hard. He's such a
legend.
Such a legend.
He's just a legend. He's just, Bakugo gets immediately, he thinks he saved Bakugo. Bakugo's like, I didn't need your saving anyway. And then some shit comes out of Bakugo's mouth and it warps him away. And he's like, no! And I'm just like, you idiots. Ragdoll is recovered at the other scene, but stepping from the shadows. It's ominous. It's just as important as you would believe. Best Genus attempts to stop him. He doesn't even know who he is, but he's just like, yo, I'm not taking any chances.
Right, I might as well.
With any ominous voices coming out of no shadows at all. Not even, ooh, but ooh-wee. And there is Best Genus. I just got to give my flowers to Best Genus at this point.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro.
From this point on, I will say this.
I just have to say this to you. He is one of the first characters, first heroes on this show that you and I ever spoke about. Because I saw you, I don't know if you remember this, but you tweeted a picture of him.
Of course.
And this was like
the ASAP Rocky one, of course. I mean,
this may have been like 2 years ago, guys, but I'm saying like in general, you
super legendary meme. Yes.
Tweeted the picture and I was just like, whoa, you know, like this is before I really knew anything deep about My Hero. So I know this scene that comes up here hurts you a little bit.
Yeah, it mainly hurts me because, first of all, Best Genius attempts to stop him, and then I put in this notes, ooh-wee, a white light, because he gets completely dragged towards him, and then he pretty much gets a hole put in his entire body. So,
it was
out of commission. He's out of commission. He just is. They haven't confirmed whether he's dead or not. Actually, he was not dead.
He's not dead. He's
not dead. He's just very out of commission at this point. But if you go to his Wikia or fandom page, his status, based on spoilers, is currently unknown. Is all I'll give you. So you get one more thing of Best Genius, and then it's kind of like, where the fuck do we go from here? Who knows? Right. So we're lining up for the greatest battle that the series has ever had, the ultimate battle between good and evil. Mm-hmm. It's very much so foreshadowing of Shigaraki holding all for one day. That's really kind of what
that's what it comes down to, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, he's been training Shigaraki. He's been grooming him. He's been saying, make these mistakes. You just start over again. Because I know you're the one. Similar to how Deku is the one, Shigaraki is the one. Tomura Shigaraki is 100% the one, and he is the one who will inherit all for one, just as Deku has inherited one for all. It is it's a great kind of setup that they do in the third season. Imagine this. It's in the third season. This is why this show is so good.
Oh man, the pacing is great. The pacing is great. I'm still amazed. I think I tell you this a lot, but I'm just amazed to have so many characters, so many protagonists, so many antagonists, and still have the pacing that is like phenomenal.
100%. I mean, all for one. Eventually All Might shows up, and he's bringing it straight to his front door. But All for One decides, you know what, League of Villains, you guys got to go. I don't know where you gotta go, but you can't stay here. He uses Forcible Quirk on Kirogiri, which is incredible. Forcible Quirk Activation, FQA.
Ugh, man.
Pretty much put something in his body and was like, I'm activating your quirk. And he manages to...
That's OP alone.
He's trying to transport the League of Villains away. He's also saying, yo, get the kid. So it's now 6-on-1 with Bakugo, trying to stay away from the League. This is my favorite moment, by the way.
Oh, yeah, is it now?
Even more than the fight that we have coming up, I think this is legit my favorite moment. Because I promise you, I get goosebumps every fucking time it happens. I promise you. I've watched it twice over the last 2 days, and it's the same effect. I promise you. So Deku and the gang form a plan. They're like, oh, okay, what you're going to do is, Todoroki, you're going to make an ice pillar pretty much straight up to the heavens.
Right.
And as tall as you can. We're going to use my quirk and Ida's reciprocal burst, and we're going to shoot up this damn spike that you kind of made. But then we're also going to use the hardening to break through the wall of Kirishima, and it's up to Kirishima, the relationship that you've got with Kirishima. Kirishima has to be... he has to be the one to reach out to Bakugo. It's not going to be me, because he's not going to do it. He's not going to, can't be Ida, because Ida's a dork.
That's right.
It has to be you. And the music, everything, all this other shit.
A whole vibe of this part, bro.
Oh my god, they shoot up the pillar. They're in the sky. Everyone's turned away. Shigaraki is like, that damn kid is always fucking here.
You just see bodies in the air.
Yeah, and just flying in the air. And Bakugo's like, gotta split, and, uses the biggest version of his quirk that he ever uses. And it's by all means, it defies all types of fucking physics and all types of other shit. But the man is pretty much walking in fucking air.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets launched pretty much straight up to, where Kirishima is, and they grab hands, and he says, "You idiots," with a big ass smile on his face.
Yeah, he was so happy, bro. He didn't want to. He wasn't trying to show it too much, but he was giggity. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely feeling it.
He was 100%. The moment was incredible. Even as they're landing, they managed to land, and Kirishima has a huge smile on his face because they just managed to rescue their best friend successfully without using their quirks or anything involved, and everyone has managed to be safe except All Might, who's probably like, "You damn kids." Like, which, it is what it is. He's gonna say that. Let's get to the main event.
Yeah, let's do it, man. The big stuff right here, man.
All Might versus All for One.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most important fight in this series thus far for a number of reasons. One, it symbolizes the end of the reign of All Might as kind of the number one hero.
Yeah.
This is the final fight that he has. We don't get a lot of fights in the series featuring All Might. You hear the cars honking in the background for All Might. You don't get a lot of. Damn.
They love All Might. Who doesn't?
Yeah. We don't get a lot of fights featuring All Might in this series, but we do get this major fight. And you get the thing in the first season, you get this one right here. But the reign of All Might, especially being one for all and all the other stuff, it's a major moment in this series.
It is.
It can't be understated enough. This is honestly the moment where Deku
at this point
becomes, the
most important part. I mean, it may not be your favorite necessarily. It is a high powered fight, and it's done really well. It's a great fight scene, but even though, I mean, it is a main attraction, it is a season finale type feeling to it, but
yeah, it's weird that happens in the middle of the season.
I know, right? But still, the purpose of it is really to move Deku's, progression and development forward. And because right now we're all kind of like, we don't get to see All Might really do too much. We spoke about this in previous episodes in last season. You don't get to see it too much, but here we get a full on fight, and it just happens to be the last one.
I mean, it's been hinted from pretty much episode 1 that he hasn't been able to sort of sustain All for One. One for all at this point, which is why he passes along to Deku, and once he passes along to Deku, it actually starts declining a lot more. If you watch that movie, which the professor is like, "Oh, your quirk levels are, exponentially dropping. What's going on here?" He was like, "I can't tell you." But this is really the moment where, by all means, Deku is now, without a doubt, with no, he has to step out of the shadow of All Might. There's always been the looming thing of All Might because he is the number one hero. He is one for all. He is the ultimate. He is the symbol of, peace. He is everything like that. Right. Without the symbol of peace, now it really represents Deku for the remainder of the series to kind of step out of his shadow and really become the hero that he wants to be, because there is no more All Might in this series to kind of save him or get him out of incidents or really do anything. It's going to be all up to him at this point. This also represents the kind of final reign of All for One.
Right.
All for One was defeated previously, but he was not killed, which ends up being a large error in, All Might's past, which he regrets, and he chose this fight to kind of, redo that. Essentially, make sure that everyone is captured, and maybe All for One is defeated, one for all, once for all.
Right.
But this represents the kind of end of All for One, because All for One is defeated in this fight, and he is locked up, and listen, what Muscular Mustard and Moonfish have to go through Tartarus is nothing what this guy has to go through, because he is in the most solitaire of confinement. He's not able, if he activates his quirk, he gets shot.
That's a wrap.
It's crazy. But this kind of represents the reign of All for One. And once again, it's now up to Tomura Shigaraki to step out of the shadow of All For One.
Isn't it crazy how they just like it's really the end of two giants, you know,
pillars,
to move forward for two more individuals, the main protagonist and the main antagonist to step up and, you know, obviously cross paths at some point as well.
Yeah, it's this is so important for the series. It's still, if you're probably, I don't know if it'll be your favorite fight, but it's definitely one of the biggest fights thus far. There's a couple of highlights in this fight. One of them is All Might being exposed, which is terrible. I mean, this is the day of reckoning.
Hey, I mean, it had to, at some point, you know, it had to be done, man. I was waiting for that moment where everyone kind of, because it was starting to confuse me. Okay, who knows about All Might's situation and who doesn't? Sometimes he would say, "Oh, you know, so and so, so and so, and so and so." But then, like, I'm like, man, is he really just keeping up in this form? Because he'll be like, only got 5 minutes left in this form. And it's like, well, yeah, like who all really knows about this? So I knew the moment was coming where the world just had to know that All Might was not himself anymore. And if there was a moment to
helicopters is like, what the fuck is that?
Everybody's watching this shit, you know what I'm
saying? He looks like a bag of bones. I just, you know, no, they didn't really say that, but I know that's how they felt. All For One with the T in the middle of the fight.
Yeah,
you're some sick shit.
Yeah, he was getting up, man. He was snapping a little bit.
He reveals in the middle of the fight that Tomura Shigaraki is actually, his real name, Tenko Shimura, is the grandson of Nana Shimura, who is his master, who previously perished in the fight against All For One to bring up All Might to
bringing up trauma, family trauma.
And All Might is like, what would he think what would Nana think if she saw us now? And, you know, Gran Torino had to be like, yo, suck it up, kid.
Yeah, it's like, calm your ass down. It ain't about this right now.
She long dead. Like, come on, suck it up. It's very important. It's 100% important. Actually, Jeff, I promise you, once you figure out this past thing, you're just going to be like,
I'm trying to get there. I know there's things that will like connect everything. I already love the series for what it is so far, but there's definitely stuff that I know I'm like waiting to hear about. That's gonna blow.
The missing links are thus far are the parents. That's the only part that we got the grandson, we got the grandmother. So what happens here? And it's, I'm telling you,
I'm gonna read. I'm reading today.
Listen. That's all I wanted.
I'm reading today. Like I swear, I'm going in today.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I love that the heroes show up all after the fact. It's like they took a fucking Uber there. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like
is All Might that fast? Ugh.
I'm saying, bro. I'm saying.
They show up like way later, like mad later. Buildings have already been smashed. All Might's been. The scenes where All Might is being tossed around is just, it's funny as fuck.
It is because we're not used to seeing it.
When he tries to go for Bakugo and like save Bakugo, and like All For One grabs him with like his weird tentacle shit and like pulls him back and then like throws him into a building. I'm dying.
Oh. This thing is getting bodied right now, like by a dude who's barely moving.
No face. He got nubs for eyes, bro.
Beat up by a guy with no face, man.
No face, bro.
No face, no case, though.
Boom. There you go.
See?
See how that? You can't even identify him. The man don't even have a fucking face.
That's right.
Unless you're looking for the guy with no face. All Might manages to muster up the last and the final flames of One For All and is able to defeat All For One. He switches from arm to arm. It's kind of like, it's like some NBA street shit, some N1 shit, where he's just like, oh, and he's just like, actually, I'll transfer it from one arm to another, and then he's like, actually, I didn't put my back into it. And then you see the graphics. I like You know why I like those graphics? Because I actually count them to see if they represent all pass holders of One for All.
And it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
They get it right on. Good animation, guys. Good job for getting that right. Because Lord forbid, if there was one extra, Meelz is on your ass.
No, so they kept one out, but then they did to like Nana or Shimura, and then I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Like, you know why?
Yeah. I was just like, okay. So now, United States of Smash, the power of all 50 states and territories in the United States.
States of Smash. What a hard ass name.
Boom. Bodies him straight into the ground. One for all. If he had a face, it would probably be hurting right now.
Yeah. But the graphic of it, hard, bro. Hard. Like, this shit was easily like movie tier stuff right here. Like,
yeah. Imagine if they had a movie budget. That's what I thought while watching it.
I know. I was like, it's the middle of the season. Like, it wasn't even like I'm sitting here watching it. I'm gassed watching it. Like, it feels like the end, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man. But there's still so much more. They do good moments. It's very good pacing in the show. Very good pacing. Goodbye, One for All. And goodbye to the Symbol of Peace, who has his one final moment, is doing his one final stand. Yeah, blood is coming out of his fucking arms and mouth. Mm-hmm. He's like, I gotta make this look good for the cameras. So he pops back into muscular form, and he's like, yo. Dun, 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 dun. And everyone's crying, and everyone's like, yes, the Symbol of Peace. Oh my God. Until like a day later where they're like, we lost the fucking Symbol of Peace. Yeah. Oh my God.
There's going to be another attack and we're not going to live.
Yeah. Endeavor, who's that?
Yeah. He's mean.
Oh my God, he's so mean. One final victory, one final moment, one final stand, and he points to Deku. Even though Deku doesn't know that, he pointed to him. Everyone thinks he's pointing to villains. And he says, it's up to you. And Deku, we haven't seen this in a while, but he's bawling. He is crying. His ugly tears. He's wiping it with his cheap suit and everything.
Bakugo's looking on the side eye like, this nigga here. He ain't slick.
You fucking pointing you for? I know he pointed.
Yeah, I know he pointed to you, bro. I know that was for you. Stop playing.
Fucker. The way I think that's where we'll cap off on this. Because, it's a big moment. It's been a way they've started this season. Season 3 started off so crazy. Yes, it kind of falls into like this, it falls into, I wouldn't say slump, but it's All Might versus All One. Like, I don't even know if you're going to get that much better than that.
Right.
But, we still got a couple moments to do. It's a very still important moment. Season 3 is a very important season because the next episode that we're going to talk about, they get their hero licenses, provisional hero licenses, which means that they can stop bad guys and they can kick butt. But, the law on their side and stuff like that. Like your learner's permit, I guess, for heroes is like you can kick ass with a hero 18 and older accompanying you.
All right.
So who knows? They'll be able to do some stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in this far.
Yeah.
We really hope this is probably, I would hope this is the biggest episode. It's the biggest episode of My Hero Academia kind of ever. And, we're talking about it. We're getting through all of this. Of course, we will be back tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you stay subscribed. Make sure you meet us at the lookout.
We got more.
Don't meet us there. Beat us there. Because we have so much more to come from. Subscribe to the Lookout RNC. Subscribe to the Lookout on RNC Radio. Subscribe everywhere where you can find things. We're going to continue banging out this season for the rest of the week. We're going to continue banging outside my house for the rest of this damn week.
You already know it's New York, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, construction. I don't even know what they're building. I still don't know what they're building. All I know is they move from one side of the street to the other side of the street. And that's all I can say. But yeah, until then, I'm Meelz. I'm here with Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
You know me.
This is the Lookout. We'll see you guys next. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Fuck.
We'll see tomorrow. I know it's so weird. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.